Coalition, and I'm one of the, or our organization is one of the entities that's put together this speaker series that we started last October. And so this is our, I guess our fourth one because we skipped January for the holidays. How many of you have been to one of our sessions before? Okay, I do see some new faces, so be sure to kind of keep up with the news, and if you aren't on our email list, be sure to make sure the front people up front have your email, because we send out, you know, just maybe 2 messages a month, just kind of updates on what we're doing and things. But our next session is March 4th, and it's going to be very important. It's called Ready, Set, Go, and Emergency Response. And it's more geared towards, you know, God forbid if a disaster comes again, what to do at that point to be prepared. And we'll have some of the personnel from the Rio Doce Fire Department and the County Emergency Services and that kind of thing. So please put that on your calendar and tell your friends and neighbors about that one. Then in April, we're really excited about this, and there's some cards out there with some more information. We're going to have a expo, a Forest Health Expo, you might call it. It's we're calling it Beyond Our Backyard, Living in the WUI, and this will be kind of a conference. It'll be at the Convention Center, but it's going to be start Thursday evening with a reception for the speakers, and then all day Friday, April 11th is the date. So April 10th in the evening, April 11th, all day at the Convention Center, and then Saturday, the following day, the 12th, anybody who wants to can go on a field trip with the biology instructor here at ENMU, Quinton Hayes, will lead it and take folks around to some of the areas that either have been burned and are recovering, have been thinned, and, you know, explain what's been done. It'll be a very, you know, informative tour, and the cost is only for your lunches. If you don't want to eat, or you want to bring your own food, then it's free. There is a cost for the Friday all-day conference just for the keynote speaker, and Lisa Maui, who's running the camera in the back, she's done a wonderful job of putting this together. The keynote speaker is going to be Philip Connors. He's the author of a book called Fire Season, Field Notes from a Wilderness Lookout. And so if you do want to attend that keynote session, then there's a $15 charge for lunch, and the same with the field trip. If you want to have a box lunch on the trip, it's $15. So basically you're just covering your food. Everything else is complimentary. ENMU Rio Doce has done a lot to put this on. So we hope you will spread the word, take some of these postcards on your way out, and share them with your neighbors. We'd really like to have everybody in the community involved in this. There'll also be a chainsaw safety demonstration. We have somebody from Steel Saws coming, and they'll be doing a morning session and an afternoon session at the conference on chainsaw safety. So we've got a lot going on there. And whenever the food comes, just bring it in, and I'll quit talking. Okay. We have a lot of great sponsors in the community. And there's a couple of lists around, but tonight, of course, Can't Stop Smoking's bringing the barbecue, but we've had other sponsors like Subway, Pizza Hut, Spencer Theater just donated tickets for door prizes, the Village Butteries donated some things, and so we've really had a lot of support from the community, and we appreciate that very much. Finally, the Little Bear Forestry Reform Coalition is doing sort of a membership drive. There's information out there if you're interested. We are trying to be nonprofit. We applied about a year ago for nonprofit status, and we're still waiting. So maybe by next year we'll have our nonprofit status, but we are incorporated, and we have a board, and, you know, we're trying to do everything above board and very transparently. So we do have a $25 membership fee if you want to become a member, and any funds go to putting on things like this and different things related to our mission, which are mission statements out there. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Yes. Yes, sir.
You know, last time the Little Bear Fire, there was a lot of communication difficulties. Is there anything been done to solve that problem? I mean, like a certain number that we could call, because we were getting all kinds of phone numbers and nobody seemed to know what was going on. And, I mean, did you, you know, like areas, I live in Nogales, and there was rumors going around like Loma Grande burned to the ground. I mean, is there anything that, you know, where you put out a, you know, like a news conference or whatever?
It's my understanding that both the Village of Rio Doce and the county and other entities have been working on that, but that's our next session in March. That will be one of the areas that they cover. We'll have somebody from, you know, both entities, the village and the county, to talk about that and how people can be better informed.
Well, it was like, you know, the forestry was doing one thing, the sheriff was doing another, and then they brought in the National Guard and they didn't know what they were doing.
Right, I think everybody learned a lot from that experience, and hopefully, you know, when it happens again, we'll be better prepared. But that does fall under the emergency services, and that's, you know, that would be a great question for, I wish I could answer it, if anybody here in the room can.
Yeah, the group of them, the county and the village, have been getting together working on a communication plan, and they've got several radios, and they've been working on ways to make sure that you get public information in the event of the next fire. So, don't know exactly what they've done, but I do know they're working on it, and they hope we learn from the last one and make it better.
Mary, if I can just throw out an idea for those that might be interested. In Lincoln County, there's a very active amateur radio club, the Sierra Blanca Amateur Radio Club. And in any of the community's emergencies that have happened in search and rescue, fires, etc., I'm a member of this club. And even if you just had a scanner, if you could monitor the local frequencies, and you can find this information on the internet. You could program a $100 scanner with all your government agencies, emergency services, and amateur radio. You could stay on top better, maybe, than the agencies themselves, or even some of the interim command post operations that are set up. So if you're really interested in keeping up with what's going on, I recommend doing that.
Okay, that's, you know, good advice. And there are
I was
some
gonna say, we lost all the communication for a day or two. I mean, we couldn't even get cell phones service. We lost it all.
Well, you know, if you participate in this organization in meetings, when they emphasize what to do in emergencies, one of the things that's emphasized is don't depend on cell phones. Because the cell phone system is limited in its capacity. Everyone has one and everyone's trying to use it. So it's overloaded. The system is quickly overloaded. And this has happened in emergencies all over the country. It's the first thing that goes down is the cell phone system. Another thing, I was one of the people on KEDU radio that was helping relay information, phone updates and stuff. So be prepared to listen to AM radio because the situation is fluid. It's changing. You know, command posts are changing and developing, and like you say, other agencies are coming in. And the problem always starts fairly small, and in this case it escalated to a disaster. And so the you know, the level of you know, the level of response is going to be escalating along with and things are going to change. So you have to be ready to kind of change with it.
But what they need is like a command post, like.
There's always a command post set up. From the very first time, the very first minute, someone establishes an on-scene command post. But as the situation escalates, the command post, you know, who's in charge of the command post will change, like you said. It'll go from a local to a state to a federal, and so phone numbers and things and locations will change.
But it seemed like nobody knew who was in command.
Right.
Well,
That's what my opinion is, and I don't know.
This next meeting we're gonna have is really important. I mean,
It's
because
difficult to get the information out to the public. You know, someone knows who's in charge. The people that are operating the emergency know who's in charge, generally.
So
But,
we've
you know,
got-
it's difficult.
Let's go ahead and, we've got the food lined up. Why don't we start maybe, how about in the back, just kind of come on up and grab your plate, and we're gonna.
Oh, that's great.
kind of
Yeah, hey, if you're in
start-
back,
as
you
soon as
get to go.
everybody's got it.
I already have my plate, my
Then
chips.
we'll start the presentation. We're gonna close the door.
Well, you know, excuse me,
Oh, yeah, right, well, we got a lot of information to share, yeah.
Like the sheriff told me that the forestry takes over. And then the forestry said the sheriff takes over. So who was, you know, I don't know if you were there when Governor Martinez came to the new theater. Well, I brought that up to her. I don't know if it did any good. Bernadine.
I'll let her cut. We'll let her in.
I don't want to say she's lying cover.
Where do we live at? We live out in Alto.
How was it up there when you
Yeah, we did have to evacuate. Nothing out there actually got burned.
Right.
But we were like you know, well, our phone service stayed on, but.
We lost it for like a day, then we left. But then we got communications, because a couple of our neighbors didn't leave.